All right, we're live. Ben, thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, Michael, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Today we're talking keyword research with the man himself, Ben Adler, with Keyword Chef. Ben, again, yeah, thanks for tuning in, for joining, and welcome everyone for tuning in. Uh, just a real quick, just to set the stage, the ranking stream is designed to interview SEO experts, tool builders to help inform the SEO community from anyone just starting out to experts on the tools that exist out there. And so we want to make your job just we want to make your life easier. We want to make you, if you're doing SEO or if you're managing SEO, this is the place to kind of look at new tools, see what's out there, and basically help streamline your process a little better, even if it's just a little bit. But yeah, as I mentioned, Ben is the founder of Keyword Chef. Ben,
Yep.
can you give a little bit of background about? Can you give a little bit more information about your background, just kind of how you started out and the vision for Keyword Chef?
Yeah. So, there was a time I didn't know about SEO and everything like that. So, back then I was doing programming. I have a programming background. And then I was looking for ways to make money online. So I was looking online for, how to make money online. And then there was a post on Reddit about someone with a vacuum cleaner website doing reviews for vacuum cleaners. And they said they were making $500 a month with this product review website, and that like blew me away. So that was like my first introduction into like niche websites. So I tried a few websites that didn't work out, and then I built one that was successful. This was like when Amazon was actually um, sending good commissions.
Yeah, right.
So that was several years ago. So I was like, I think in December I was like making almost $6,000 a month with just Amazon reviews. And then that started getting more competitive, so I started building niche websites around like more informational keywords and earning with display ads. And in doing that, I got really good at doing keyword research and finding low competition keywords that I could rank for without backlinks. So while I was doing all this, I decided to build a Facebook group to help teach people how to build these types of websites. And then I had the idea, like, why don't I automate my own keyword research process, make it into a software, and then promote it into my Facebook group. So that's what I did. I took my own research that I was doing, my own process, and I just had the software do it automatically. So that's how Keyword Chef was born.
That's amazing. Yeah, and so so you did a lot of the writing of the program or the programming early on, or did you kind of have someone kind of automate that process for you?
Yep. So I built everything with my programming background.
Yeah.
There was still a lot I needed to learn. And then I do have some help right now with a developer that takes the load off programming wise, so I can focus on other parts of the business right now. So it's just
Right.
me and another programmer.
It's amazing. Yeah. But when you started back then around the like building of the application, what are some of the biggest differences then in terms of the keyword, like, volume, competition versus kind of what you're seeing today? Like, has anything changed in your approach to like analyzing keywords then versus like now, and how you kind of run the system?
Um, the process is the same in terms of like finding
Mm.
keywords, but there
Yeah.
are more refinements, you could say. Like I'm finding more keywords, even though it's using the same process, and things like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
the process is largely the same.
That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, I imagine different keywords kind of shift up and down. I mean, some of the keywords that we've been targeting for some of like our like marketing blogs and stuff haven't really changed too much. Obviously, search volume can change based on like
Yeah.
trends and information, and also competitive data. If more competitors into a market for a particular keyword, like things could get a little tricky there. But sometimes I feel like we're kind of stuck within a hole of like all competing for the same keywords. I mean, if I use a tool like SEMrush or Ahrefs, it seems like we're all competing for the same thing. But from my understanding, it's like with Keyword Chef, it kind of looks beyond just the keywords that everyone, like, the head terms. Or does it also look at like the long tail as well, or how does it kind of like look at the keyword data?
Yeah. So it actually finds a lot of long tail keywords that don't exist in other databases. And people
Yeah.
have told me like they find keywords in Keyword Chef that don't exist in Ahrefs. So it's constantly finding and adding new keywords to the database, and it's really good at finding like the long tails in particular.
Yeah. So the databases that some of these big companies look at, I mean, I wonder if they're like aware of like, hey, we're all kind of looking at the same thing. And I haven't, I mean, I've done a lot of keyword research inside of one of these bigger, like one of these known tools, I would say, but like, yeah, I find that like it's difficult to find unique keywords unless you have to dig in, and then you get a finite or amount of information. But yeah, I realized too that like the limitations with these tools and finding those long tail terms, and specifically with like Google Keyword Planner, I never get like served up like keywords that convert. It's always like keywords that are pretty like generic, and almost seems like with that, so obviously Google wants you to pay for those specific keywords, and then it has you kind of dig into your search terms report to look for some of those kind of long tail terms, or now I guess you can look in Search Console as well. But
Yeah.
in order to understand just kind of where those diamonds in the rough live, you kind of either have to pay for them, or you have to kind of build content and kind of wait for a little while. But it sounds like Keyword Chef kind of helps to expedite some of that keyword research like process. How can you explain a little bit more like how it does that without giving away obviously the secret sauce, but like how their approach is kind of in terms of finding those keywords versus like some of these other tools that are just kind of repeating the same thing?
Uh, Basically, we're scraping keywords from Google, and we're using like we have like hundreds of like formulas that we search for to find these
Gotcha.
keywords. So that's where the real like bread and the secret sauce is using all these formulas. But back to your point, like I think in some niches there are like a limited amount of keywords in a niche. Like unless like a new product comes out or some breaking news or something. Like yeah, you're right. Like most people are competing just for the same keywords, I think, in some of these niches.
Yeah, it seems like it. At least the keyword data just seems like pretty redundant. So I'm super fascinated with keyword research tools that provide a different perspective, or the FAQs, frequently asked questions, or kind of dig deeper in terms of like those long tail terms, especially I might imagine for like newer websites. So ranking for keywords with a brand new website for competitive keywords, I would say it's probably impossible sometimes
Yeah.
unless you build out the right content that essentially maybe gets in zero competition. How does the tool kind of approach? Have you ever dealt with that situation where you have a brand new website? It's extremely difficult to compete for some of the keywords, but some of these other keywords that you through your research or through your tool, like it's actually doable, like people are actually able to rank for keywords without a super high
Yeah,
domain
that's
authority.
right. So basically, what I found with building my own websites and ranking like for our keywords that I'm for a new website, ranking for keywords with a
Yeah.
new website. Basically, if you search for the keyword and you analyze the search results, if you find forums like Reddit or Quora on the front page results,
Hmm.
that usually means a keyword is easy and you can rank without backlinks. And the reason is that Reddit and Quora and these other user generated content sites, they're not very well optimized for SEO. They don't have headings and subheadings. They don't have internal links. Sometimes they're off topic. They're not very detailed sometimes. People are making memes and jokes on these
Right.
forums, right? So it's not very good for SEO. So the fact that these are ranking on the first page probably means the keyword is easy.
Hmm.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be ranking. Um,
Yeah.
so that's what Keyword Chef does. It finds keywords that have these forums ranking So when you see these keywords, those are easy to go after.
Is that kind of
So
like a rule of thumb? I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, so that's a whole process behind Keyword Chef.
Gotcha. Is that a rule of thumb? Is like typically websites with like a lot of UGC, user generated content, can provide opportunity. Like it provides, obviously it has a hub, but then there's a lot of spokes where there's a lot of potential content out there developed by people, Reddit. We're talking about Quora and all these other sites where, I mean, it's kind of like a prospecting kind of nature in mind. Like if you see something developed, or if there's a website that generates a ton of UGC, chances are there's some opportunities to kind of beat those kind of pages that are like further down the navigation that are kind of existing out there, but are like very beatable and like you could essentially rank over them or something like that. Is that kind of a
Yeah,
rule of
as a
thumb?
rule of thumb,
You
these
think? Yeah.
websites are easily outranked.
Oh, yeah.
Not all the time, because there could be some forums that really do have a lot of expert information and a lot of links. But most of the time, these user generated content sites are easy.
Yeah.
Especially
That makes a lot of sense.
also if you Google something and you see a Twitter post, like Twitter could be one of these easy sites as well, along with like a Facebook post, or like free blogging websites. A lot of experienced SEOs don't use free blogging websites, so that's another thing to look for as well.
Interesting. Well, how much does like the SERP features kind of play into a factor when it comes to keyword research? So I imagine like if you have a keyword that's triggering like an image or a video carousel or one of these like featured snippets, how does the tool kind of take that into account to be like, okay, if you want to rank for this tool or this keyword, excuse me, then you probably have to create some videos or you have to create FAQ section. Is that important at all to like the keyword research or in terms of what the tool is like, how the tool performs just its searches or analysis?
That is important for like search intent.
Hmm.
My tool kind of helps with that, where you can select a category you want. So like a lot of how-to videos, how-to keywords have videos, like
Yeah.
how to tie a tie, right? Like
Mhm.
people want to see a video about that. They're not going to read a blog article, right?
Right.
So a lot of videos are going to be ranking for how-to keywords, because people want to see how to do it visually. Um, so you just have to be aware of like the search intent and just use your brain. Like, what does a user want when they search for this keyword? Do they want to read a blog post, or do they want to read an article? And sometimes it can be both,
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
if you can make video, you'll have another advantage as well.
Absolutely. So, I mean, yeah, that brings up another thought that came to mind where it's like, you talked a lot about like niche building websites. I imagine your community I'm involved in one of your communities, so I know people are talking about like how to start up a niche website as well. How do people like usually, or how did you do it usually? Because do you have an idea for the niche before, or are you doing keyword research? How do you kind of find a proper like niche site to compete in, or that you want to kind of invest some cash into? Like what's kind of your approach, and what have you seen that actually works well?
Yeah. So my first successful website, my review website, it was about
Hmm.
a type of product I didn't even use.
Hmm.
So I just did a lot of research, and I was all about just ranking and making money. Um, but as I built more blogs, I started getting burned out. Um, so I've taken the approach now where pick something you enjoy that you have experience with. Especially nowadays, where Google cares more about eats, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. Google wants to rank pages that are written by people with experience on the topic. So that's only going to become more important, especially with like all the AI content out there. Um, I think Google will want to rank these eat websites even higher to beat the AI garbage.
Hmm.
So yeah, make sure like you have experience in the niche, and just what I like to do is I like to find a bunch of low competition keywords in the beginning before I settle on a niche, because I don't want to go into a niche and then find out all the keywords are way too competitive.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to build my runway before I even start writing my first article. And then there's other things to check, like how popular the niche is. You don't want to pick a niche that has like, zero volume.
Yeah.
So, just like competition, market size, EAT are probably some of the big factors. And then, can you make money? Are there products to promote in the niche? And how expensive are they, and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You hit on a little bit of AI, like Google, you're discerning from the AI garbage out there, which I'd imagine there's going to be a lot at this point, especially
Yeah.
while people are just kind of like testing the waters with the Chat GPT. Has that influenced the product at all, your product at all, in terms of just kind of functionality or how you're thinking about it in the future? Has that influenced you at all?
Maybe. I know there's people that are like just searching for keywords and then just pumping out AI content to target those keywords.
Yeah.
So you could say like more keywords are being targeted. Um, yeah, that's all I have to say about, like, my tool hasn't really changed with AI, really.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's interesting to hear what folks are doing, especially like you said, using keyword tools to automatically build a page that's like 4,000 words and then publishing that and pushing it to Google. I know there's a lot of like churn and burn websites that folks are kind of like, hey, I'm just testing the waters with this. Well, AI written content. Google will probably slap them a little later on, but it's kind of they're trying to like cash out, cash in and cash out really for a lot of some folks out in the market. But I mean, it's interesting to hear what they have to say anyway. Just in terms of the results, how Google is going to approach that, and whether they see it as like AI content as like a good thing or bad thing. Obviously, they kind of gone a little bit back and forth on saying like AI content is completely bad, but they're saying, hey, it could be useful with like human intervention, fact checking, and all
Right.
these good stuff. As you mentioned, EAT or EE, the additional E as well for experience. So it's fascinating what's going to happen to our industry. I think it's obviously evolving in front of us. So I'm curious to see where that lands. But
Yeah. I think like
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Google made a statement, like a clarification that like AI written content isn't necessarily bad as long as it's helpful for the user.
Right,
Um, but what they don't want people doing is like no human intervention and just like mass producing.
right.
So you still want to make, AI tools are like an aid, but they should still have some refinement involved.
Absolutely, it isn't perfect all the way. So it definitely needs that human intervention. But it's extremely powerful in terms of like analyzing keyword trends and then writing articles or writing the proper content to support those keyword trends, and then having a human kind of just edit that, publish it, and then hopefully rank it, especially for those websites that have stronger like domain authority. I imagine it could be a dream for especially like news publications or folks who are constantly publishing content on a regular and need to be on top of the news. It's a faster cadence than your typical marketing blog or something.
Yeah, I think I heard like there's a lot of big websites that actually been using like AI and templates for a long time for
Yeah.
like stock news that's very boilerplate. They can talk
Hmm.
about the stock price and then like what happened to that stock price that day, for example.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, there's uses for it.
Definitely, man. Well, man, I think we want to check out the usages for it with Keyword Chef. So, do you have? Can we take a peek at it? Did you have something you wanted to show us? I definitely would love to see what you had. You had some keyword reports. I think we're talking about before the stream started.
Yeah, these reports, they can take like getting all the SERP data can take like a minute. So I
Sure.
just have some preloaded reports ready to
Right
show
on.
you guys.
Let's definitely do it. So you could share your screen, and I'll go ahead and load it up into the stream.
Let me see here.
All right. There we go. Now it's up.
Okay, cool. So this is one of the reports I have. You can actually view this on the homepage if you go to keywordchef.com. This is a little outdated, but it's on the homepage, so you guys can check it out. So Keyword Chef, you can do a search, and there's categories here. So a lot of times people want like certain keywords, like questions, and they don't care about like how-to keywords, for example. So that's why I have all the keywords separated into categories. So this is like, you can narrow down your search intent. So right now I just have all the categories loaded for this report here. And the report is for cast iron skillet. So if you had like a cooking website, this is one of the search terms you could look for. So like I said, this tool, Keyword Chef, it finds keywords that have forms ranking on the first page. So we can see here, like how to fix a warped cast iron skillet. And if we hover over the SERP score, we can see like Reddit and MetaFilter and a forum here. So like I said, these user-generated content sites are easy to outrank. So instead of finding a keyword, going to Google, analyzing the search results, and doing that for every single keyword, which can take a very long time, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Keyword Chef will analyze the search results for you automatically for thousands of keywords at once. So it's a huge time saver. So you don't have to go back and forth analyzing keywords. You can just hover over.
Yeah. Question on that SERP, the green numbers are there. What are the, why is it some of them are, why are those digits different? Sorry. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at that.
Yeah, so like the 5 here.
Yeah.
That's how many easy keyword easy links it found in the SERP.
So like, gotcha.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So
yeah,
that number here is like how many easy sites are ranking for that keyword on the first page.
Gotcha.
So higher the better, right? Because you want more easy keywords to show up. So they're color coded. Green is like mostly a sure bet that if you write an article, you can rank without backlinks. And then 3, I have it like an amber color. So here's another keyword: how hot can you get a cast iron skillet? And we can see like Reddit, Quora, and Stack Exchange. I also have like the word count here. So it just gives you an idea of how long your article should be. And then anything like 2 or below is like a gray color. These can still be good, but I added a buffer just to make extra sure that there weren't any false positives. So I just made it more like beginner friendly.
Yeah.
But this one can still be good because you still have like a core and a Reddit showing up in the first 4 results. Another cool thing I have is the domains report. So I'm actually still working on this, so not all the data is populated right now. So some people like to, like, if you want to see all the keywords that Reddit is ranking for in your report, you can organize it by Reddit as well. So if you know a weak competitor, you can just like copy all their keywords and target them. So people really like this. Just one thing I missed.
Yeah.
So for the SERP score, like if you know there's like a weak competitor, like cooking.com, for example, right? You can add that to be counted inside your SERP score. And you can select
gotcha.
you want to target. So I talked about forums like Reddit. in Quora. If you don't want those websites counted in your score, you can just turn that off. Or you can add like files, because like PDFs and stuff like that are usually easy to rank. So you can have Keyword Chef find keywords that have PDFs ranking on the first page as well.
Or what's that apply? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
that apply by SERP score too. Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry about that. I see the apply SERP score too, and then there's a drop down there.
Yeah.
How does that work? Yeah.
So some people, they only want to look at results that were like in the top 5 results instead of the entire first page.
Gotcha.
Because some people like to see, like, they want to know if Reddit is ranking in the top 3 results. So
interesting.
I don't know if this will work. Well, we'll see what comes up. Yeah, custom domains. It's going to take a few seconds to refresh here.
No worries. Yeah, no, that while that's loading, it's super helpful to kind of analyze it and so like your idea of a quote unquote keyword difficulty score, like some of the other tools, is just kind of based on that SERP metric, or is it, something else? Is it the high and low area there, or how do you kind of measure the competitiveness of a keyword?
Yeah, it's based on the SERP. So it's SERP. More of like an easy score rather than a competitor score.
Gotcha.
But we can see we changed the SERP score settings to only find Reddit in the top 3. So here's Reddit number 1, Reddit number 3, Reddit number 3. So you can analyze search results really quickly.
Right.
And I just have some filters here where I have like topical clusters. So if you want to find all the keywords with cornbread, you can do that. And I also have like what's called similar keywords. And what this is doing is it's analyzing the search results, and if there's a search result that has similar links, it will say, hey, these keywords are probably similar. So this is called keyword clustering. So where it groups similar keywords together based on the search results. So instead of like knowing which keywords should be included in the same article, this will combine the keywords for you based on what Google thinks is similar. So like best size cast iron skillet for cornbread, and what size cast iron skillet for cornbread. That's pretty much the same keyword. And Google thinks it's 100% match.
Yeah, I love that score there. Yeah, that percent match there.
Yeah, so this other keyword, how to make cast iron skillet cornbread, it's a little bit different, but still similar. So it has a lower percent. You can click on these if you want to. If you find a good keyword you want to favorite, you can just save it for later. Yeah. Or cross it off if you don't think it's a good keyword.
How is that percentage match kind of taken into account? Like, what's the difference between 100 and like 33% match?
Yeah, so 100 means like all the SERPs in keyword A, all the links in keyword A are the same as the links in keyword B. But you might be wondering, if there's 10 results per page, like how do you get 33, right?
Right.
Some results actually have 9 links instead of 10 on the first page. So that's why it's 33% instead of 30%. So sometimes there's 9 on the first page results, 9 results instead of 10.
Gotcha. I'm also looking at the Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying it's a helpful feature people like to help organize keywords.
No doubt. Yeah, I was looking at the average, the high and low. Can you explain those metrics? Yeah, and what the difference is between those metrics?
Yeah. So this is search volume. So some keywords are seasonal. So if you search for like
Uh,
Christmas tree decorations, that's going to be very popular around Christmas time, right?
right.
So if you're in middle of June and you Google this keyword, like I don't want to show the June volume, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here I'm just showing the average over the past 12 months, the high volume, and then the low volume for the past 12 months.
Yeah.
So you can tell how seasonal a keyword is and get a real average of the search volume.
I love how you include that. I think I haven't seen a lot of keyword research tools do that. They provide the high and the low just to add some perspective. You usually get the average. And
Yep.
at face value, when I'm doing my keyword research, I mainly rely on the averages, which to some keywords that the average is kind of deceptive. It's not all the way truthful, like you said, for especially keywords with seasonality that take seasonality into a factor. That's so important though. I feel like that's common. That's a common thing that's like completely missed completely. Yeah, I like that a lot. I think I want to know how a keyword kind of behaves throughout the 12-month period. If you're in e-commerce and you're selling, obviously stuff that's like seasonal in nature, that's definitely an important factor. But just looking at the average itself doesn't tell the whole story.
Right. I know other keyword tools, they might show like a little graph
They'll show a
of,
graph, yeah.
but it's kind of hard to read, and they don't tell you the volume, all
And you
the
have to
time.
click on each one of those keywords to look at that individual's keyword trend. I'm not going to do that for thousands of keywords,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so another nice little feature. I like to keep things like simple and like, there's some things I purposely excluded, like CPC, because I'm more targeted toward bloggers. Like most bloggers don't care about CPC,
Right.
because they're
Right.
not doing ad bids.
Mm-hmm.
So I just like, a clean interface. I don't have a billion tools of things that you're not going to use that just clutter the dashboard,
Right.
And then all your reports are saved under my reports here. So you can access them at any time you want.
Gotcha. This is some good stuff, man. I love the clustering as well. You had those categories right up there that we showed. That's super fascinating to kind of dig in a little deeper, especially for like building, like hub and spoke, quote unquote, pages, content silos, whatever you want to call them. Extremely important there. What's been kind of, I've seen that I've been seeing just on social media that you've been kind of doing some new upgrades to the tool, kind of changing the pricing model, what have you. Is that directly because of, just where you see the tool naturally progressing, or customers kind of asking for that, or like what's kind of your current state of the tool, and what kind of updates have you made to the system?
It's been both. Recently, I introduced a monthly subscription. A lot of my users were asking for like a monthly plan. Plus, it's better for business. So I recently launched that in January. So I still have the pay-as-you-go plans. So if you just want to buy credits and then spend them anytime you want, that's fine. But if you want credits for a cheaper price, you can sign up for the monthly plan, where the credits last till the end of your billing period.
Gotcha.
But if you're going to use them all in a month, it just makes sense to get the monthly plan, because you can cancel anytime you want.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to introduce some like new tools and like new data metrics for analyzing domain data, like the domain age, and then we're coming out with number of posts, so you can see how many posts your competitors have. So it just tells you like like newer websites are usually easier to beat, or websites with not a lot of content. So it's just another competition metric that a lot of these other websites, a lot of these other keyword tools don't have.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I love the fine tuning and how your tool is specifically focused on keyword kind of research, intelligence, and analysis. I think it's often difficult for some of the major tools that we all know, and they're trying to do too much at once. They're trying to, and it's kind of like data overload. It's like, why do some metrics kind of matter? Why do they think they matter? And why do they include them inside of their keyword research reports when it just like clutters things up? And it's really difficult to actually get to the meat. Like, which keywords can I easily rank for? Which ones will give me the traffic for my niche? And I think there's a lot of value in that long tail kind of aspect. That long tail section of the keyword data is where a lot of gold is. And I'd imagine that there's a lot of higher user or higher transactional intent in some of those long tail keywords, because people know exactly what they're looking for. Like the example earlier, the iron cast skillet for cornbread. Like that's super specific, super niche. Like someone knows exactly what they're looking for rather than just cast iron for sale or online cast iron or something like that.
Yeah. Another problem too that you kind of touched on is like these other keyword tools, it's like data overload. And then once you get keywords, you might get like in Ahrefs, you might get like 10,000 keywords, and you have to sort through them and pick out the good ones. But my idea was like, why don't we just tell people the good keywords like right away?
I love that.
Instead
man.
of having people to like sort through a big list of keywords, like Keyword Chef will just tell you the good ones immediately,
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the whole idea, is to like deliver keywords as fast as possible, as easy as possible to the user.
Absolutely. I see a lot of tools trending that way, man. Like them going to like the end point. Like here's actually what you need to do. Like here's the keyword you should be like writing content for. And I think that's really important. I think tool builders like you are really important. And I think you provide a lot of value to the SEO community at large, because you're giving like dessert before the veggies. Like this is the good stuff. This is the good stuff first, and everything else. Certainly, you could use the tools for additional research, competitive analysis, and all that good stuff. But if you're really trying to find out what has a high chance of actually working, ranking, here's a good place to start. Especially if you're newer, if you're niche, like these keyword tools just don't have certain data. Or if they do, it's going to be very broad, and it's going to be, there's going to be so many different data layers on top of that prevent it from just giving us the meat, giving us the actual like substance of what we should rank for.
And other keywords too, like you'll get keyword, if you search for like pizza, you might get like pizza near me. Like,
yeah,
nobody is gonna write a blog post about that, right?
Right.
So like, in Keyword Chef, I actually remove these keywords. So, a lot of people are searching for like Reddit keywords at the end of their queries.
Yeah.
I'll remove those as well. So I have like a whole filtering process that removes bad keywords. So the user only gets the good keywords.
That's
so
the way
just thinking about like, think about what process the user actually goes through and picking keywords, and then automate that at every step.
Man, you got it. You're onto it. Ben, I want to just thank you for jumping on, man, and sharing your expertise and insight in your Keyword Chef tool. I posted the link inside of the chat. But for viewers, can you let us know how to find you, how people could find you or get in contact with you?
Yeah, so keywordchef.com. I also have a couple of Facebook groups if you're on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, Keyword Chef. You can email me, ben@keywordchef.com. I read every email that comes through. So if you have a question, I'm happy to help.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Ben, so much for jumping on, man, and I appreciate you. Everyone, go check out Keyword Chef. Get those long tail terms and start ranking for some goodness. I appreciate you, Ben. Thanks for jumping on, man. Chat soon.